Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review. This is episode number 65. And with this one, reviewing the 853rd episode of the One Piece anime, The Green Room, an Invincible Helmsman, Jimbei, and the 917th chapter of the manga, The Treasure Ship of Provisions. Yes. The episode today, which I was a little surprised the fact there was no new episode last week, and no new chapter of the manga, which I was a little surprised to see that. But in the case of the manga, I'm not all that surprised. In the case of the anime, I'm a little bit surprised because there was no announcement by it. Just that for some reason we had no new episode last week. Yeah, it was a little weird to see that. As far as I know, there has not been an official explanation for this. Maybe they just want to take a week off from the anime. That's my personal guess. I don't know, but it's just a theory right now. This episode adapts pages 13 to 17 of chapter 880 and pages 2 through 10 of 881. Simply put, right now, because they just finished up adapting 800, even though they're about halfway through 880 as of right now, there's only about a good, I'd say about 21 and a half chapters left to go for this entire arc to be adapted. Now, simply put, this is set in 3 settings. The third one was actually not from the manga. This was actually anime original, but it's a very good scene. The extra scene is just, it's an extra cake making scene, which I think this was actually a fantastic idea on the part of the animators. Because we have Sanji, Pudding, and Clifton continue making the cake. Yeah, they're trying all this stuff to get the stuff being made, and they said that they don't have enough butter. So Sanji says, do we have any prunes? And he says, yes. Prunes is a good substitute to fill up those last 30 grams. Okay, that sounds good. And of course, Pudding is still fainting like crazy at all the compliments that Sanji is giving her. I mean, she faints like 3 times over the course of the whole episode. In the case what Luffy's up to, he's still fighting Katakuri. Though not much big fighting this episode, it's just basically Luffy trying to warn his ship about the fire happening in the boys' room. Yes. No, it's not a bathroom. It's an actual where all the male members of the crew sleep. Which, here's the thing, all the male members of the Straw Hat crew all sleep in hammocks. The women sleep in regular beds, like hotel-style beds. The only reason I know this because I've seen like a blueprint of the actual thing, and plus they did do a sort of a 3D map, a 3D tour of the ship, with Brook giving the tour and Luffy basically running around the ship looking for his missing straw hat. Yeah, this is of course done in CGI. Yeah, a whole episode done in CGI, a whole short done in CGI. Yep. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and when they fire arrows into the boys' room, the lockers they hit belong to Usopp and Frankie. Wow. 2 people are not even there, and yet you fire arrows into their lockers. Yeah, luckily enough that their stuff wasn't destroyed. They were so lucky that they put that fire out. And, of course, Luffy gave the infamous command to break all the mirrors in the ship. And Nami's asking, like, how are you going to get back? I'll think of something. He does. He goes out to another island. He goes out of the mirror world twice. The first time was actually to recharge himself after he went to 4th gear. The first time went to during his fight with Katakuri. The second time was when he finished his fight with Katakuri. Yep. And you have Jimbei, who he's probably the MVP of this episode. He comes in a ingenious way to avoid a humongous tidal wave by riding into what is called the Green Room. I don't know if this is real or not. It's basically the little space. It's a brief space inside of an actual wave, and he basically drives the ship right through it. They even suggested to include a burst, and Brooks like, we can't do that because we don't have enough cola. Okay, but at least they thought of it, which is actually quite nice. And mostly put, this was a fantastic episode. And I'm really interested to see exactly what they're going to do next week, which is basically just a continuation of Luffy versus Katakuri. I think there is at least one chapter of this where they do have a whole thing of basically Luffy versus Katakuri. But this was a great episode. Oh, in case you're wondering, when is Sanji going to come back? He doesn't come. They don't come back for a good. I'd say they don't come back until I think it's about chapter like 890. He'll wait about 10 chapters, about 10 more chapters before they come back. Okay, now for chapter 800 and 917, where it starts off with sorry about the Tales of the Straw Hat Fleet. We see Bellamy making up a new Jolly Roger. Yeah, that's all this picture is, just basically a new Jolly Roger. And then we cut to this is of course to the Wano arc. This is about, let's see, this is only like the 11th chapter of this whole arc. Yeah, this particular arc actually it was not 11th chapter. Let's see, if I remember correctly, I think this is the 9th chapter of this arc. Yeah, it's only been going on for 9 chapters. That's surprising. Yeah, we see Luffy himself doesn't really appear that much in this chapter, but it's mostly seen like a kid crying, and we see like a new character named Speed. Looks like she's a centaur. Woo's clothing. It's a female centaur. See someone smiling. Oh yeah, the female centaur. Her name is Speed. She's a horse smile. She's a more smile user. Okay, maybe she's a different user. Maybe. Mostly put just lots of talking. We see. Looks like it's oh yeah, Tommy, who's being held accountable, the guy who's who kind of looks like he's got a similar like body appearance to that Blackbeard, but it's not Blackbeard. It could be Blackbeard, but who the heck knows? Being held captive. Then we see Luffy, Zoro, and the woman they met in a couple of chapters back, and they really wanted to rescue them. So Luffy just really wants to rescue her because, well, he's a rescuing type. Like the guy keeps threatening to kill her, hurt her. So of course he's still hungry. He's like, how much food? So he comes with a good idea. Zoro, you take care of the outside. I'll rescue Tama. It's like, okay. Oh yeah, her name is Kairi. And then we see Hawkins and Trafalgar Law. It's about time we see the return of him. He actually only appears for this one brief panel. I'm like, okay. Law appeared last like 2 chapters back, and he comes back here and you only see him for one freaking panel. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why. I mean, he's such a great character. Why would you let his appearance like one panel? It's stupid. Eventually, Luffy does rescue the girl. Of course, Sanji just beats up the other guys, and Luffy does his Red Hawk move to beat up the guy, and that's how the chapter ends. No, as far as I know, they're not going to put this thing on hiatus next week. They already did that already, so they're not going to do. I'm hoping they're not going to do another 1 week breaking like it did last week. This by far was a pretty interesting chapter, very wordy, mind you. Yes, very wordy. But okay, it looks like they kind of wrapped up this little fight they have in this town. Maybe they're gonna finally move on to another town. Probably take this woman, Cardi, with them. Excuse me, I would think it's a bad idea. I mean, Tama, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring her along through their journey throughout Wano Country. I have a feeling that Wano Country lasts a good 100 chapters. Yeah, it could be even longer. It could be almost as long as Dressrosa at the rate it's going. Yeah, but it's only 9 chapters in, so yeah. You guys know it's 9 chapters in because Revere was 6 chapters. This arc is going since chapter 909. This is 917. This particular arc right now is only going for 9 chapters. And I'm hoping this does not end too quickly. I'm hoping it doesn't drag out too long. I wouldn't mind also if it's as long as Alabasta. I wouldn't mind that at all either. But yeah, Wano Country. Yeah, an arc that Oda has been building up for ever since they first mentioned the name way back in Thriller Bark. He's been building up this particular arc, and now he does it finally. And it's good. It's interesting so far. I gotta praise him for that. I'm gonna give this chapter roughly a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty interesting chapter. It kind of wraps up this little mini arc, mini little thing going on in the thing with Luffy and the other guy rescuing Tama. So I'm sure they're probably gonna head to their town soon. I'm hoping he meets up with another member of the crew soon because he met up with Zoro only about 4 chapters back. So who knows who he can meet up with next? It could be Nami, it could be Robin, Chopper, Brooke, Frankie, or even Usopp, or it could be any other member of his crew. Yeah, and yeah, as far as I can tell, that's really it for this particular review. So yeah, stay tuned next week for episode 66. Where I'll cover the 918 chapter manga. I don't know what any of it is going to be. But next week's episode of the anime is going to be called Threat of the Mole Luffy's Silent Fight. Which that itself should be interesting. Yep. But until we see you in our next review video, bye.